video, the Bustin' video. If anybody somehow hasn't seen it by now, please just look up Bustin' on YouTube, and it is.
Make sure YouTube is the
You're
site
right,
that
yeah.
you.
Brunch. Hit it, boys.
Is Blake Lively problematic?
Oh boy, I don't like this question.
It's the question many are asking.
Oh no.
It's the question many are asking because in a shocking turn of events, I'll whisper this, Swifties are maybe not always super rational and are depending on your personal experience, a horrifying group of people. They're all mad, and it has led to Miles Teller even admitting that he is vaccinated. Miles Teller is in the music video for I Bet You Think About Me with Taylor Swift, directed by Blake Lively, and it was first brought to our attention of, hey, Miles Teller's in this Taylor Swift video.
Yep.
I don't know how you felt about it. I was like, I'm sure we're going to talk about it at some point, but I was like, huh, interesting. Like, Taylor swinging for the fences, doing the most, not necessarily in a bad way, like doing as much as she possibly can for this rollout of Red. And I should have known, like, within a day, somebody involved in it had to be doing some either like retraction tweet or like I'm so sorry everybody sort of tweet. But I'm scrolling along, I see the Miles Teller man just being like, okay, I know that I allegedly brought COVID to a movie set and did all of these things, but like this is what will make me break my silence on this. I am indeed vaccinated. Everybody, please stop being so mean.
Yeah, that is it is surprising, and it's surprising to me too that as a Taylor Swift fan and as a big Miles Teller fan, that I wasn't compelled to watch the video.
Haven't seen it.
No, I haven't seen it. So I haven't seen the short film with Dylan O'Brien. I've listened to the music, but I haven't seen any of the visual stuff. So that's surprising. Like, you'd think that if this would be like a brunch cross promotion that we can't miss.
Once upon a time, that would have been an emergency episode.
Oh yeah, and it is surprising to me that Taylor Swift is tabbing Miles Teller for this video because I don't know why. I don't know why I think this, but Miles Teller doesn't seem like a Taylor Swift kind of guy. Like in like Taylor Swift welcoming Miles Teller into her world, I guess.
Right, but and I got to choose my words carefully here. It's tough to tell who and what strikes Taylor Swift's fancy.
Yeah,
like I do.
fair.
I do not consider her a tastemaker. I'm very glad that she has done a lot for Haim's career, but I don't necessarily I just don't think of Taylor Swift as somebody who's like, ooh, I got like an eye for this stuff.
But like I think like in my head I don't know these people, but I think like these two people I could see clashing a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah,
especially with Miles Teller's sort of what we've heard about him, what's been reported about him. It seems like he rubs a lot of people the wrong way.
Not to be mean, but they are both, for better or worse, or maybe not correctly, rightly or wrongly, they are both now. What did they do, people? They're
True,
both like, hey,
yeah.
did you see what Taylor Swift did? What? Or did you see what Miles Teller did? Oh no, what?
I'll tell you though, the dynamic there's intrigue. Like, I would watch a documentary. I would love to be a fly on the wall.
But not a music video, we've learned.
That's true, yeah. But like just being a fly on the wall and seeing how they interact.
Yeah, I personally did. I listened to Red Taylor's version as just a, hey, popping in. I've got some preconceived notions that I'm nearly positive are going to be confirmed. Listened, they were confirmed. I'd come to grips with it anyway.
Yeah.
I was just like, it's like not rocket science. Like, this isn't going to sound as good as the original version, and it doesn't. For some reason, Nora explained it to me. I didn't totally understand it. Max Martin isn't involved, can't be involved, legally can't be involved. If Max Martin was touching your stuff, even if he wrote the songs and you re-record the songs that he wrote and you're allowed to do that, it's still not going to sound as good because that guy has got a mixing touch that
The golden touch.
Seriously, like he puts a
I know.
he puts a shine on songs that other like producers simply can't. Like I forget what, there's some frequency range that
Okay.
he is like the master of, that other producers and mixers don't touch, don't care about. I know very, very, very little about mixing, but I do know that like Max Martin songs aren't just going to sound shinier, better.
I know very little about music, and I
Yeah.
can barely speak analytically about it or think analytically about it, but I can tell you from my experience, it's something about Max Martin.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
just constantly making hits.
This is really good. Is it Max Martin?
Yeah.
Yes. I
I've
knew
heard-
I was a music person.
And then there's also like, oh, I've heard this before. Is this Jack Antonoff?
Yes, exactly. But the big thing for me was 22 was the biggest, or the two stark differences. And Nora correctly noted. By the way, check out Nora's Ringer podcast. Every single album, they're doing everything with Taylor. They are doing, again, I say this in a good way, the most. They are leaving no stone unturned with Taylor and re-recording all these things. But Nora correctly pointed out, it is the singles that are most notably worse or different. She didn't agree that it was worse. I think that she's like,
Well, I mean, that makes sense because like you're most familiar with the singles.
people. There's no way it would live up to what our existing experiences with it. So
Right.
that's not like a knock on it. It's just a
Yeah, even if like something's like just tiny bit different, you've heard the song a million times in one certain way.
Yeah.
If anything has changed, it's gonna like you're gonna register that in one way or another, and it's gonna feel different.
yeah. The songs they sound a little smaller, a little, or I think a lot more like produced, but not in necessarily a good way. Bruntouchable and hockey fan Ben Mathewson texted me and was like, hey, this all kind of sounds like very cleaned up, right? And I was like, yeah, well, like all Taylor Swift songs are very, very, very cleaned up, but this is more like her vocals are always like tuned to be perfect
Yeah.
and everything. And that's the way that I personally think it should be with Taylor Swift because she's a pop artist, but
And not to be mean, but like not a great vocalist.
not the best. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. Not the best singer, which I mean, again, personal preference. I don't think she has to be.
And I've seen more people recently notice that
Yeah.
or like point that out and make that observation. It's like, yeah, that's sort
And
of
I'll
always
defend
been the
that
case.
too with her. I'm like, so what?
Like, right, yeah, it's like her songwriting that has
Yeah.
always been her biggest strength, I think.
Yeah, even though I don't think she's the best songwriter, but yes, her strength.
But
is
like if you're ranking things, songwriting is way above vocal performance.
yeah, so again, like the vocals are always going to be fixed, and I have no problem with that. But if you correct things timing wise to make them like perfectly in line, so everything's on beat and everything's totally in rhythm, it'll sound perfect, but it'll also sound really small. So that's what you get with like We Are Never Getting Back Together does not sound huge and gargantuan and all like gang vocal type of stuff. People take big issue with the wheeze. Very funny. Have you heard the Taylor's version
So
of Weird?
I'll let you in on a secret. I'm
Yeah.
not a big Red fan.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about Red.
You go like Fearless to 1989, right?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and
Red
I
guy over
I
here.
have listened to like some of it. I've listened to All Too Well. I've listened to I listened to Better Man, which I'm a big fan of, even though it doesn't sound anything like Pearl Jam. No,
We had a funny exchange. You texted me and was like, Better Man cover, very good. And I was like, let's go. Because I like Taylor covers. Famously defended the September cover.
yeah.
Like, that was fine. And that was I don't think I've listened to it since it came out, but I remember when it came out, I listened to it. I was like, yeah, that's good. I enjoy this.
Yeah, and I don't like how protective some people are over covers.
Yeah.
But no, and so like you correctly pointed out, and I didn't know this, that the Little Big Town
Yeah.
song was written by Taylor, and I didn't know that. So
Yeah.
it's a cover, but not really a cover. Like she's performing her own song.
Right. But that's why. So you understand my confusion then, because there is a Pearl Jam song called Better
Yes.
Man. That when you said Better Man cover, I was
Yeah.
like, Let's go. And honestly, I don't even love that song. I'm not
Better
yeah,
Man?
Yeah.
Better Man is like one of my favorite songs of all time.
It is a good song.
It's an
I
incredible
think
song.
It's because when I was a kid, like listening to Pearl Jam, I remember that was kind of the song where it's like, well, you're not really ahead if you like.
Well,
Better
yeah.
Man is like the radio song, but like it's a great song.
It's a great song, and it got me into Pearl Jam, which was like my first ever favorite band.
Really?
Yeah.
They're the first band that you saw, famously.
Yes, yeah. So like, I have a special place in my heart for that song. Although stylized,
Yeah?
there's no space in between Better and Man. It's just Better Man.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, which is kind of cool because that's how like the song goes. Better
Yeah.
Man.
Also, how the guy says it in Wedding Singer.
True. Yeah.
Best man, better man. Is that Steve Buscemi?
I don't know.
I know that Steve Buscemi is one of the people that gives speech at some
I haven't
point.
seen Wedding Singer in a long time. That'd be a great movie to revisit for tomato fights.
Man, I remember I had to leave The Wedding Singer as a child. My friend's mom took us and was like, "Look,
This
we
is
gotta go.
inappropriate?"
This is inappropriate."
At what point? Do you remember what point the cord was pulled?
I believe it was the old woman talking about her sex life, and
Well,
I'm sure
that's-
there were worse things prior to that.
Well, that's stupid. Like when you're a kid, you can hear that shit and it just doesn't register.
Also, unequivocally, somebody putting meatballs in somebody else's hands is more disgusting
Yeah.
than
Like hearing
you-
words
you
about sex.
potentially making the choice to visualize
Yeah.
what somebody is talking. Like if a person is like, I don't recall. We'll have to revisit it when we do this movie, but I don't recall like any graphic blow by blows. I think that woman is just like saying that she's sexually active or something.
Yeah. And
Okay.
yeah, and in the Wedding Singer, I would imagine that it was done like for comedy, not for the sake of like being explicit.
I feel like nothing was really diagrammed or.
Yeah.
It's a PG-13 movie. I can't remember there being
Your
a sex
friend's
scene
mom
with
seems
it.
like a real wet blanket.
And yeah, it's weird. Maybe I don't know. That would be an interesting discussion as to why. There's a good chance that it could have been a last straw type of situation.
Okay.
If next time I watch Wedding Singer, I will try to note how many.
How old were you, by the way?
Let's see. The Wedding Singer came out in 1998,
Oh, so you were like,
and it came out in February of 1998. So I was 9 years old.
okay, so you were very young.
I should not have been brought to that movie.
No.
Okay, so this changes it. That could have
Nine?
been Like-
Nine?
somebody nine.
Nine?
Somebody get some pants on that baby could have been like too inappropriate for a 9-year-old. Yo, that's crazy. Now I'm thinking. Now my friend's mom is like kind of a party animal.
Yeah, right? She went from a wet blanket to being like a real wild card.
Wow.
Taking her fucking 9-year-old to go see Rochelle.
Yes. Long journey from Milan to Minsk. Shout out the man who plays the soup Nazi on Seinfeld. On the right side of the YouTube, the recommendation thing, it was an interview with the soup Nazi guy, and it was like how the guy who plays soup Nazi had the best year of his career. Let me see.
Oh, yeah, because of Cameo, right?
Yes, I didn't know this.
Yeah, he crushed it on Cameo last year.
Larry Thomas, who, can't make this up, famously played soup Nazi. One of my favorite recent things, by the way. I feel like saying famously has always been a thing, but I like that, especially on this podcast, we've kind of let it get out of control.
Yeah. It's just like something that we throw in with like
It's like how people misuse
everything.
literally.
Yeah.
Just say famously for everything. Somebody yesterday, when Phil Rivers was on the Manning cast,
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh, let's go! Like the best quarterback in the 2004 draft has entered the chat," and someone was like, "Yo, the only one without a ring," which JP
Who cares?
Lossman, get out of here. But it's like he famously got married very young. People forget he got married after his freshman year.
Yeah, and then had all the sex.
Yeah, I was talking about this earlier. I was like, legitimately a daily goal of mine, and it sounds stupid because I break it all the time, is like I really don't try to judge how people live their lives or whatever. It's mean and in a lot of ways pointless. But like that is like a
locking in a
wow,
life decision when you're a freshman in college and not even and like a freshman athlete in college.
Yeah, that is like I really think about that again, like through my own prism of like, for me, I think that would be really, really crazy for me to do.
Right.
But I mean, he's
seemingly making it work.
Yeah,
He's still popping out kids every 9 months.
Did you watch him on the Manning Cast at all?
No, I haven't watched any Manning Cast ever.
Oh, whoa, really?
Yeah.
Damn, it's good. It's not the best, but it's good. It's kind of like Ted Lasso.
I thought you were gonna say it's kind of like Taylor Swift.
It's kind of like Taylor Swift. Like it makes me happy, but I know it's not like very good. Mainly because there's
Isn't
a
that
lot
part of
like,
the charm though? Like
it's so shoddy.
Yeah, it's such a mess that
There's a lot of Zoom issues at all times.
I do like the power move of ESPN using ESPN2 as just like a fuck around channel.
Yes.
And it's just like, okay, on one channel we've got our serious production, on the other channel we've got the same event, but we'll just throw shit at a wall.
I have wanted sports channels to do that forever. I loved the idea of like if you're watching insert team game.
Well, that's really where subscription services should go. Like ESPN Plus, like they should because they have like now they have the NHL rights and stuff. Like I've always wanted a channel or a broadcast that just does natural sounds. So if there was like an ESPN Plus broadcast where they only did natural game sounds, fuck yeah, I'd sign up for ESPN Plus in a second.
That'd be amazing. I mean, have you seen? I think it's called Players Only.
No.
NBA will show games with only game sound, and there's a couple of former players talking, like lightly. There's no play-by-play.
Okay.
They're just watching the game and talking.
It's like kind of like eavesdropping at the game.
Right.
Okay.
And that's
very cool.
I love that. Yeah, dude, for really since like people started to look for like alternative ways to do game coverage, I'm like, yeah, why don't places just, especially like rights holders, put on the game? Not to say that like I don't love watching like Jack and Brick or something, but like if you're a team that I'll go out of market so it doesn't sound like I'm talking about either my employer or like rival stations or whatever, but like say you are the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're in the news.
Mm-hmm.
Very hot in the streets these days. Famously being sold to John Henry and LeBron James. People forget he has a minority stake. If you are the rights holder of the Pittsburgh Penguins, why not have like buy one of those, like the way Nessun does Nessun Plus or whatever, like buy some random like cheap channel that's whatever, and just put on. You want to do an X player? You want to do some hip kids like whoever their like Pete Blackburn might be, and just pop them in and
I don't
just
know
see what
like,
happens.
Yeah, I don't know like the business side of it, but I wonder if it's just like splitting the viewership in a way that it would hurt.
That's my guess.
Yeah, but like I don't know if you remember this, but like NBC a number of years ago, they had I don't know if it was like on purpose, but like if you would go in while watching a hockey game, an NHL game on NBC, and you changed the language on your cable box to Spanish, it would pull away the announcers, and you would only get game sound. And
Life
so
hack.
I did that a ton. And then like
Rude.
eventually the that just kind of like stopped being a functionality
They
thing.
fixed the glitch.
Yeah, and so I miss it. I miss it all the time, dude. There's nothing better than watching hockey with just natural sound.
Yeah, it is a good experience. We came kind of close. We flirted with the idea of going to a hockey game last week. Dude, I'm totally fine with the fact that we didn't go to that game, but would have been a great one.
It was a fun game.
No pun intended. I mean, Oilers, Bruins, and Oil Boys just went off. Bruins went in with that bold strategy of lightly and loosely playing defense, and that was so much fun.
Not
You
a
ended
good
up-
team to do that against.
I mean, you would have been able to do it from the game. I was going to say it's a good thing we didn't go because you got off a terrific tweet, which was Brandon
Oh,
Carlo
yeah.
looking like Connor McDavid out there.
Snapping tape-to-tape passes to Leon Draisaitl in the slot.
Oh, that was so, man, I love watching Leon Draisaitl score goals. I would have had such a fun
Having a
time.
good time this year because that guy's got like 16 goals in 15 games.
Would it have been inappropriate if I had worn my Draisaitl gear to the Bruins game?
Yeah, like somebody would have snapped a picture of you and then like never let you live it down and been like, you
I think-
fake fan.
Yeah, I think that it would have, I'd have been accused of like being a troll.
Mm-hmm.
And like legitimately, that wouldn't be the
Hey, you
aim.
just like
It would
Leon
just be like, I'm
Draisaitl.
so excited I get to go see Leon Draisaitl.
Yeah.
That would have been really cool.
I do
some
think that
other
it's
time.
very funny to go see the Oilers play and be like Leon Draisaitl's a great player,
Oh,
but
right.
obviously Connor
Draisaitl's
McDavid,
team.
yeah, Connor McDavid is the guy to go see. Like if you're picking one guy, so I think it's funny that you would be like, I'm going to see Leon Draisaitl.
I am going to see last year's reigning Hart Trophy winner. Wait, you mean the reigning Hart Trophy winner or last year's Hart Trophy winner? No, last year's reigning Hart Trophy winner, Leon Draisaitl. Well, you know the actual reigning Hart Trophy winner. Last year's Hart Trophy winner is on that team.
Yeah,
and
but
is
that's
the best player in the world.
Yeah, but that's because he played with the reigning Hart Trophy winner. So
Exactly.
like that,
it was the Bergeron thing. Where they're
Yeah.
like, well, we're not going to give it to you every year. We're going
Right.
to have to give it to somebody else. I don't know who's the best player that gets to play with Leon Draisaitl. Yeah, Oilers are fun and they're good this year.
Yeah, I mean, like they are. I think they're the best team in the league in terms of entertainment value, just
Oh,
based
yeah.
off of like. They're still not great at defense, but oh boy, they will score on 50% of their power plays, and they've got two of the best players in the world, and that makes it fun.
Yeah, and look, fun is something that we all want right now. Feeling good is something we all want right now. And if you are taking care of yourself, which I hope all listeners are, hope you're going to therapy if that's something that you can do, if that's something that you feel you need, do everything you can to take care of yourself. I'm going to call out myself right now. I know this for a fact. Have mentioned this to the old therapist. I'm like, you know what? I'd be feeling a lot better if I were maybe exercising a little bit more. I'm not doing that. That's my problem. I've got to add that in. Find little things that you can add into your routine to make yourself feel better. I'm going to just volunteer one right now. New Mood.
There you go.
I'm not saying that this is a therapy app. I'm not saying that this is a direct one-for-one replacement for some of the important things we have in our lives, but it is still very important to attack it every way you can.
Yeah,
And
take care of your mentals, as one Marshawn Lynch once said.
exactly. Take care of your mentals. It helps you manage daily stress, anxious thoughts. That's something that we're all trying to make sure we can get a handle on. Again, I'm going to call myself out. I've had like 4 cups of coffee today. What are you doing, Dave? You can't do that. You're just going to have to be tired. You're going to have to do the podcast a little bit worse because you're going to go crazy if you drink too much coffee. So, New Mood, maybe help balance that out. Maybe give me that little respite, that little relief that I need. It's here to guide you to mental wellness and give you the tools you need to tackle whatever it may be, that anxiety, that stress, whatever life throws at you. And sometimes, we've talked about this, it doesn't even need to be life throwing something at you. Our bodies and our brains work in mysterious ways, and it's about having people to talk to. It's about having resources. It's about finding ways. This is a big one. Find ways to slow the day down a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
And just like even when things are going well, I think it's important to keep like a personal inventory
Oh,
and
yeah.
keep yourself in check, keep yourself accountable,
yeah.
and not get like too comfortable, I guess.
Oh, yeah. That's I've told the story before, but I don't see this therapist anymore. But when a past therapist that I saw when I went in, they were like, "Hey, so like, what's troubling you?" And I was like, "Just getting ready, just trying to build up a little momentum for when something is. Like, I'm actually okay right now. So you gotta always be. Yeah, I like the Marshawn Lynch quote. Taking care of your mentals. With New Mood, you'll take the journey to mental wellness one step at a time. Their guided approach teaches you the power shifting that mindset in just a few minutes a day. There's a team of dedicated coaches that will provide you a support system that'll help you as you tackle the journey that is life. You're going to notice some changes, how you might feel in a stressful situation, whether the big thing for me is like how things affect you, like kind of softening the blow of life. That sounds dark and depressing, but like it's kind of true, like not being as worked up over small things.
Mm-hmm.
That's at least my own personal thing and how I try to, or what I'm on the lookout for. So know that you're stronger than your stress. Know that it doesn't get to control you. Equip yourself with the knowledge and skills to steer yourself to happiness. This is not a, I'm going to go by this, bang, 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 bang. These are the same steps for every person. It's going to be different. It's going to be a different experience for each person, but that's why this is a good app, because it helps you navigate the program at your own pace, and you'll have the support of a coach along the way. So worry less, feel happier, sign up for your trial at noom.com/brunch. That's noom.com/brunch.
NOOM is how you spell Noom.
And LAWSUIT is how you spell Quentin Tarantino right now, because Miramax is suing his balls off.
Really? I did not catch this story. Please.
It's a news story, and I kind of
Feed
overhyped
me.
it a little bit. He says he's going to make NFTs of Pulp Fiction, and this Uprock story notes that Quentin Tarantino kind of always says he's going to do things, and then they just don't happen. Like, he's very, like, he
I
can
love
work
that.
well for this podcast.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Big ideas, man.
Yeah.
Not always an execution man, because life gets in the way, and it can be stressful, so slow it down a little bit with
New mood.
Yeah, Noom Mood. That'll help you out. Just go to noom.com/brunch for your trial. That's noom.com/brunch.
Ooh, you thought you were out of the read? Ooh, think again.
That's
We're
right.
bringing it back.
Now I'm in it, as Haim once said. Okay, he says that he is going to make NFTs for Pulp Fiction. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the film company Miramax, that was his home for quite a long time, is suing him over his plan to release 7 non-fungible tokens related to his big breakthrough, which they distributed in 1994. The plan was to release digital versions featuring scenes that were cut from an early version of the script, as well as artwork and commentary from Quentin Tarantino himself. As with all NFTs, they'll only be available to the lucky ones who manage to finagle a single copy. I wonder what gas would be for that. I bet. I still don't totally understand gas, but
I don't understand it at all.
gas has been so ridiculous the last, like, legitimately, like 3 weeks. I haven't bought an NFT in so long. I'm just sitting there on NFTs.
Okay.
Just
I don't know what any of that means, but I
hope that these things aren't growing fungibility while I'm not touching them. I hope they remain non-fungible.
See, like, I understand the the appeal of like that sort of style NFT, and that actually has a like, it makes more sense value wise to me for like something like that, but the exclusivity of it would kind of drive me crazy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, as somebody who likes Quentin Tarantino movies and like doesn't have $1 million to
Yeah.
throw around, I want to hear that shit and I want to see that shit, but like I can't pay for it.
Yeah, it's 250 ETH, by the way. I think that's what you meant.
But whatever. I hate this.
I actually don't even know what Ethereum is right now. Somewhere
But
around there.
yeah, I just like, you know, I don't love hiding stuff behind a paywall or like making shit like super exclusive.
Yeah, that just doesn't count. That's like not all of the Pulp Fiction stuff. It's like, oh, well, do you know all the Pulp Fiction stuff? I'd just be like, well, it's just the movie. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Like, no, there were 7 NFTs made, and only these 7 people know what happens when you
Yeah.
do. But unless one person owns all 7, nobody really knows.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, no, everyone knows, because those things aren't really part of the conversation, and
Yeah.
it's just the movie.
It's like the Wu-Tang album.
Yeah,
that Shkreli had. It's like, have you heard all the Wu-Tang stuff? It's like, yeah, I have. No, you haven't, because only Martin Shkreli has.
Right. cool. If we're ranking Wu-Tang albums, we're not. Nobody is bringing that up because it just doesn't count. That's its own separate thing, and that can be its own separate thing. But like, it's just not.
Let's not make this a trend, is what I'm trying to say. Like I
Yeah.
would hate to see like that much stuff go into lockdown.
I'm glad you brought up music because I
What?
don't. You.
Oh, Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, far be it from me to bring up music.
We are coming up on Spotify Wrapped, and
Yeah.
I kind of took last year off from Spotify Wrapped. It was what did it tell me? It was just like, oh yeah, you listen to the Beach Boys, and I
This
was
is my
like, I know.
This is my first full year with Spotify.
Oh.
So I'm a little excited about that, but also like I know that it's going to be totally fucked by streaming.
I was just thinking that. I was like, oh shoot, I didn't even consider that. But what I was going to suggest is we should throw our Spotify Wrapped and the listeners' Spotify Wrapped by making a playlist by curating a playlist that people, and stealing this move from Wolfpack, who famously, and this is true, they famously gamed Spotify by making an album called Sleepify that had like 10 tracks that were whatever the minimum length is. I think it's 31 seconds or something to qualify as a stream. And they had people stream it in their sleep, and it was just silence. And then they put on a free tour as a result of that. We're not going to make any money off this because couldn't be us. But we could throw people's Spotify playlists or Spotify Wrapped by making a playlist and just have people stream it when they're sleeping on repeat. So people get, I don't know. We could make it like sophisticated. We could make it crazy. We could make it silly. Like if I don't know, someone's like the 101 Dalmatians soundtrack or something. Make it so. Maybe that's the playlist.
What's the end game there?
I don't know. When people share their Spotify Wrapped, I think that'd be really funny. When people share their Spotify Wrapped, they're like, "Oh damn! Oh, I forgot I was on a 101 Dalmatians kick. What does the 101 Dalmatians music sound like?"
I don't know. It's a good question.
Doesn't
one of the characters in the 101 Dalmatians
well,
play the
there's
piano?
Cruella DeVille.
Oh yeah, I do know that
That
one.
was a hit. Yeah, maybe that's too. That could be confused with like, oh, that was like a Cruella thing.
Yeah.
Nah, we really need something special. Oh, we could just make it "Please, Mr. Kennedy."
Is that on Spotify? I wonder.
It's got to be. It's the Inside Llewyn Davis.
Yeah, but
soundtrack.
I do know that I was on an Inside Llewyn Davis kick.
It is
like
on Spotify.
Okay.
Elvis Costello, Oscar Isaac, and Adam Driver, famously missing from there,
Is he?
is
Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Shout.
That is the funniest fucking song.
What else would would you be into that? And B, what kind of shit could we put on there? Please, Mr. Kennedy would be an okay one.
It does seem like a semi-fruitless endeavor where like we're not really getting anything out of that, and neither
Now you're
is the
speaking my
person
language.
neither is the person that's doing it.
Now you're speaking my language. I like this.
Like this seems like a very stupid idea from all accounts.
Could be not worth it. I don't know. Only one way to find out. Oh my God! Everyone's Wrapped's gonna be Bo Burnham.
Yeah. I am excited to see how much Vineyard Nights ends up on mine.
Would it? When was Vineyard Nights?
It doesn't
was
matter when it came
October of
out. It's
last
still going to
year.
end up on mine.
Because you played on stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I listen to Vineyard Nights.
No, hell yeah. I'm famously one of the people who was promised to not sue you for
For
use.
DMCA.
Yeah, that would be a hilarious long con, though.
Yeah, just going on. Somebody actually, the conversation that we had.
We meet on Twitter. I'm like, this kid doesn't know shit about the music business.
One of the conversations that we had about. Bruce Buffer last week. Somebody tweeted at us saying that Bruce Buffer is a frequent sewer.
Oh yeah, he's got that Henley gene.
Yeah. Where he sniffs out, like, "Are you ready to rumble?" or that's Michael Buffer. Either one. Yeah. Either one sniffs out use of their catchphrase and throws their lawyers at them, and they make money that way.
That is so dorky. Like, you don't see,
Yeah, that's lame.
like, Larry Thomas ain't doing that.
We are gentlemen
you-
of Harvard.
Yes. By the
We
way,
don't sue people.
you thought that you thought that he was the only one that was gonna make fun of you for that, or they think that was
Yeah,
stupid?
That's a good line.
Great line from the Max Man. We have a Tomato Fights coming out on Friday with actor and friend Randy Havens, famously in the films and the television shows. You've seen him before. You've heard him with us. The highest rated Tomato Fights in the history of Tomato Fights. We reach for 96 with The Fugitive versus The Social Network, and what a matchup.
Heavyweight matchup for sure.
One of the several things, I love several things about us doing Tomato Fights, but I love getting to watch really good movies, or like quote unquote having to watch really good movies, because man, when you take a couple of days to watch two 96s and two, I mean, I won't spoil anything. We've already taped it. We taped it right before this, but in my opinion, two deserved 96s. One even better than a 96 IMO. That feels good.
Yeah, it was quite rewarding, and I like the way that I did it too. Like I last night I watched one of them, and then this morning I watched the other one. So like last thing I did yesterday, first thing I did today.
Nice.
And it was like a very great way to end and then start the day.
You used sleep as a palate cleanser.
That's right.
Sleeping makes me feel good.
It sure does.
I'd never seen the Bustin' video.
Yeah, I showed you the Bustin' video, the famously by Roy Parker Jr.
Well, I think it was famously by a wise ass with internet access.
I showed you the
source material was all Roy.
the video, the Bustin' video. If anybody hasn't seen it by now, please just look up Bustin' on YouTube, and it is.
Make sure YouTube is the
You're
site
right,
that
yeah.
you type that.
Sleeping makes me feel good. It is
That's what
incredible.
lost me, man. Like, there's all these like jokes and images that were very
Cum-based.
funny, but like, oh, okay, I knew it was coming. And then for some reason, you just go sleep and make me feel good. I'm like, now that's my kind of joke. You warm them up with all these bustin' jokes, and then just throw in a nice little like communion cracker of
I am afraid of no sleep.
I'm afraid of no sleep. That's gonna be a good time on Tomato Fights with Social Network versus Fugitive. So check that out. You can hit the Patreon, patreon.com/listen to brunch. It was great to do it with Randy. Randy was when we told him about Tomato Fights, he was like, I'm in. When we doing it? His answer to isn't this a good idea for the podcast could have been better.
Underdelivered.
It was very underdelivered. Very that was maybe a choice. He's an actor.
True.
Maybe he
wanted to challenge himself by acting like it wasn't a great idea.
Oh fuck, you should have said that. That would have been great. We should use that with him more often.
Be like, oh, you're trying to
Be like, oh, you're acting. Oh well, someone's acting tough.
yeah.
He's an actor.
Yeah, also people go to the Patreon. If you're not a Patreon subscriber, please inflate our numbers, because we came up with an idea last week or 2 weeks ago that I've been thinking about nonstop, and it was just to do the Sims stream.
Oh yes, dude. Yes.
I want to we still want to do the sleepover stream. That's obviously something that we've been looking forward to for quite some time. So if we get to 350 patrons, I believe that we're like very close to 300.
Yes, we should be able to get to 300. That's an honestly like, not to do like a come on guys, but more of like a we got this gang.
We're very close.
Yeah.
If we get to 350, we will do the all night sleepover stream.
Yeah.
And I think that one thing that we've been talking about is
It's gonna be
doing
switching Sims.
doing a lot of Sims.
Yeah.
A lot of Sims part of the sleepover, and just it's getting me excited. I want to do the Sims and see what happens
Can they
and what
still
kind of
flirt
content.
in the
They
Sims?
sure can. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Again, like it was a different time back then. I would be like, oh, flirt. Oh, she's not into him. Flirt. Let's annoy her.
Yeah.
And I hope that now, like after like 3 times, it's like, She's
Listen,
not interested.
pal.
Leave her alone.
Yeah.
You don't got you got
Just like the
flirt is
police
grayed
come.
out.
Yeah.
Right, or like the third time you click flirt, like it's another friend walks over and it's just like standing there and just like making sure like everything's okay.
Yeah.
Just like, hey man, we're actually just with some friends right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's like very low on the list of problematic things that you can do to The Sims in
I
the
know.
game.
It is, yeah, it's such a weird look into the human psyche. Jay Baruchel was talking about on the last Tomato Fights that there's he was saying that Freud has some stuff that explains why people like horror movies, which is like they do think about like the scariest possibilities or whatever.
Like their own mortality.
Yeah, and that has to also apply to how people play video games. Like when kids play Grand Theft Auto and they're like, wait, I can drive a car and do whatever I want with it, and their first thing is to just like
Run into a crowd of pedestrians.
it's like
or like
horrifying.
yeah.
That's it's so fucked to
And
think
like
about.
just basically the entire premise of The Sims is that you play God.
You're God,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. And for some reason, everybody, at least everyone I knew, they thought God, if they could be God, they would buy a lot of refrigerators and place them everywhere.
I don't know. My favorite move is building
pool?
building a pool. They get in the pool and then you take out the ladder.
It's just a saving money saving.
Yeah.
You had to cut costs. Look, we're tied up against the cap, but just bought a lot of refrigerators. Got to get rid of the ladder.
We gotta let you go, ladder. I'm sorry.
Oh man.
It has no reflection of your performance and the things that you've done. It's purely a business decision, and I'm sorry.
Another good segue, because rigging the home with death traps reminds me that the new Home Alone is out, and honestly, neither of us have seen it, that's a big surprise. I thought we'd be jumping on that.
Yeah,
It came out without us even knowing.
Not even neither of us has seen it. I hadn't heard that it had come out.
No, hadn't even heard of it.
I hadn't seen previews. Like I've seen some previews for it, but like mainly on the internet, I think, not on TV.
Yeah.
I haven't seen previews. I haven't seen like reviews. I haven't seen anybody talking about it.
Yeah, very not a great sign.
No.
This is getting the opposite of Licorice Pizza, which
What's it called? Is it called Home Alone something?
Home Sweet Home Alone?
Oh,
that it?
okay. Yeah, that might be it.
Sweet Home Alone with
Home Sweet Home Alone.
Reese Witherspoon, famously
Oh.
from
The Rotten Tomatoes
So
score
this is why, yeah, I was afraid.
is not good.
Is it Home Sweet Low?
Very
Sweet and
low. Yes. We looked up a movie earlier today.
16?
It's a 17% on Rotten Tomatoes.
70. So when you get into the teens, that is where you will have a hard time finding movies for tomato fights, because those are few and far between. Like low ratings happen, but they're generally 30, 29. Like we have entire gaps in our database of like there's no 15, there's no 14, or not ones that we would think to discuss anyway. So that's low, man.
How many Home Alones do you think there are?
Famously, there are 2 with Joe Pesci. There was a third one that did not involve Pesci, Elliott, or O'Hara,
Mhm.
or Culkin, or what's my man's name? Great actor, musical theater actor, right?
Donald Trump?
He infamously is in Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
The guy in the second one, Home Alone 2, he's the main. I was going to say the main antagonist, but
Curry.
yeah, Tim Curry.
Tim
yeah.
Curry.
Right? Is
Yeah.
Tim Curry a musical theater man?
I believe so. I mean, like, I would assume so.
He's
just
very
based on-
much got that
He
energy.
shoot, what's the movie? What's the movie?
It?
No. The one where he plays like the dancing guy. Oh shit. What's the name? Oh, the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I haven't seen Rocky Horror Picture Show. Have you?
Really?
Yeah.
I have. Ellen made me watch it, and it's quite fucked up, but quite good.
I'm spending I actually got a couple of New York trips coming up. One, I'm going with my friend Pete, and we're gonna go see Licorice Pizza.
Hell yeah.
Like they were doing screenings in New York, and they were like, "Hey," because they always do that. Paul Thomas Anderson movies always do like, "Hey, we're gonna."
Am I your friend Pete?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
We're gonna do. Although
You have
yeah,
other
I
friend
realized I was
Pete's,
like, I have a
and-
few Pete's, huh?
And I like thought I remembered you like saying, "Are you down with this?" And I'm sure I said yes.
Yeah.
But I was just making sure that was me.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, cool.
But he did that. I remember that with Phantom Thread. He'll do like a few weeks before they'll show it in 70 millimeter. Is that
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
And apparently Paul Thomas Anderson, real crazy about that. Like
Okay.
really wants people to see his stuff in 70 millimeter. Gosh knows where you're going to be able to see that here. So we're going to go to New York, and that's
Cool.
great because we're going to get to see it a couple weeks early, and that's going to feel good. Somebody told me the Coolidge Theater is doing a Paul Thomas Anderson
Oh fuck.
long thing. Let me look this up, actually.
Is that the same place as Thanksgiving?
No, that's... Wait, is it Coolidge
And is
Theater?
Thanksgiving happening this year? Because I had so much fun,
That
and I
was
would
the
absolutely do it again.
best.
Listen, here's the deal. If they're not doing Thanksgiving, I think that we should do Thanksgiving.
Yes, I'm so mad. Why can't I think of? I'm just again. I've had like 9 cups of coffee because I'm very tired today and I've had a long day. But Harvard. Oh, that's the Brattle Theater. that
Yeah,
does
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Brattle Theater. We're being such a couple of chowder heads right now. Please
Mhm.
forgive us. Brattle
Only
Theater.
in Boston.
Oh my God, so are our accents coming out? Totally. Okay. Brattle Theater, Thanksgiving. Cool. The first thing that comes up is telling me about the 2017 one. Anyway,
So it sounds like things are
somewhere
trending
in Boston
in.
is doing a, I think weekly, for a while, they're going to show every Paul Thomas Anderson movie in 70 millimeter.
Oh my
And
God.
if you think I'm not going to Phantom Thread,
Yeah.
and really, I'd like to go to all of them.
Yeah.
That would rule.
Yeah, I'm down for that too. And again, like Thanksgiving next week, if you want to just like what?
Wait, is this gonna work? Okay, I think I found a Brattle Theater schedule, upcoming events. Friday, November 19th. When is it? Willy Wonka. Dang. Sorry.
Like
False alarm.
if we want to do a homemade Thanksgiving
Yeah.
and even like do like some content out of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, doesn't even need to be content. Like, would love to be like, hey, come on over.
Yeah, right.
Let's watch
and just
some
watch
stuff.
some Tom Hanks movies.
You know who would be good for that?
Who?
Our pal Brian.
Oh,
Got
my
that outdoor
goodness.
projector.
Yeah.
Get some space heaters. He can get them. It's his place.
Yeah, I want to do that.
And fire up some.
Some
Hanks
old Hanks
movies?
movies. Yeah.
What would you want to watch?
So that's a good question. So like I know that you've seen every Hanks movie because I know that it was a lockout project of yours
Didn't
back in the
complete
day.
it.
You didn't complete it,
It
but
was the
you've
only thing I wanted
but
to
you've
do.
seen most of them.
I think I have. Honestly.
I have not seen a lot of Hanks movies.
Dude, we could do. I mean, then we could start at the beginning. We could fire up like Bachelor Party, The Man with One Red Shoe, Turner and Hooch, Bosom Buddies. That was a TV show, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But like yeah, I'm down.
That was
And-
in the days of physical Netflix. So
Oh,
that's
okay,
why
okay.
honestly I didn't complete it because I was like I gotta mail something. Like I don't even.
So yeah, like there's a lot of downsides. So I guess not a lot of downsides, but it's creepily becoming more annoying, the streaming wars, where like you have to basically have all of them now
Oh my god.
because they're pulling things away from each other and all that. But like especially for us and doing tomato fights and basically like any movie that pops into your head, you can watch it in a second for like $3.
Love it. Yeah.
And that's kind of amazing.
The thing that I need though is Amazon X-ray needs to be
What the fuck is that?
on the screen. If you pause it when you're watching something on Amazon, there's a tab that says like trivia. And that's where Sean Evans and I were saying
Oh,
we were
yeah,
getting
yeah,
some
okay,
of like
okay.
the interesting things when we watched Chicago. And he was saying, he was like, I didn't know this existed, but now I am for sure going to use, like, I'm going to watch movies of my guests with this feature, but the issue is it only happens when you hit pause.
Okay.
So you just have to
like
hit pause and hope that it's like, in this scene, this crazy thing happens.
Yeah.
I would love for there to be some like pop-up video version where, especially if it's a movie you've watched, I would have loved to when we were watching Social Network and The Fugitive.
Yeah.
To have those things pop up, because you had this issue with The Dark Knight that you were like, I have seen this movie a million times and know everything about it, that if I sit
like
down
I'm not
and
gonna
try
have
to
any
write
observations.
notes, it's impossible
Yeah.
to observe everything because you just take everything as like, well,
Well,
nothing
yeah.
is new. I already know
Right,
this,
yeah.
and everybody probably knows it.
Yeah.
So honestly, yeah, I'd be a bit of a bummer and be like, all right, Thanksgiving, Philadelphia, let's go. But Philadelphia's.
I've never seen Philadelphia.
You haven't seen Philadelphia?
No.
Whoa, man.
Not
That's
that I'm
crazy.
aware of. No.
You and I are such tight buds, and you hadn't seen for a long time, but now you've seen it for a long time. That Thing You Do.
Mm-hmm.
And
I saw it during Thanksgiving. That was
Yeah.
my.
That was.
I think that would be
so
like a
cool.
cool tradition, just like at
Yes.
least seeing one Tom Hanks movie every Thanksgiving.
I mean, don't they? Are theaters still renting themselves out?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Because that would be cool.
Yeah, but I feel like the like a lot of the charm of Thanksgiving was seeing it basically in like this like not this rundown theater, but it was almost like an auditorium.
yeah.
And like they sold just like beers.
Yeah.
It was
you
just
got
it
like
seemed
popcorn in like the foldable
yeah.
cardboard
It
box.
felt like very old school and very like sort of like thrown together.
my first. I was gonna say my first time seeing That Thing You Do was in a bad theater. It was a
Man, there's some
bad,
charm to theater.
shitty
bad theaters,
local
though.
theater, and I would go full. So like Brian kind of saved a movie theater during the pandemic.
Mhm.
If this bad theater were closing,
You do
I
whatever
think
you
I'd
could.
be like, this can't close, and everybody thinks that is the worst theater. They're like, they're not even
Active
active
rats.
They're not like it's just they are obvious rats. They're understood rats. You're making no calls on these rats. If you
yeah,
ran
you're
out
signing
like,
up for it. You signed a waiver.
Yeah. If you were like, there are rats in there, the person would be like, did you say snakes? Be like, no, I said rats. Be like, oh, good. Let me know if there are any snakes or something. Like that'd be
That's
crazy.
it's a Social Network joke.
There's people in there too. Oh yeah,
There's a snake.
classic Justin
Sean
Timberlake.
Parker.
Sean.
By the way,
Parker.
this is the 6th Home Alone.
Wow.
There is a 4th Home Alone, which I had not known about,
Mhm.
and there's also Home Alone: The Holiday Heist,
Uh-oh. This
which
one
is
has
Home Alone
criminals.
5. Yeah, right. Every Home Alone is a holiday heist. That's the entire point.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So this is the 6th Home Alone, and apparently, it's not a good one. Speaking of bad holiday movies,
Yes, it is Netflix Christmas movie season, and man, Saturday was a party. I love to do a Saturday morning movie watch. One of my favorite memories is when I finally watched Sing Street after a colleague had told me for over a year, hey, I saw your favorite movie, watch this, here are all the reasons you would like it. And I was like, sounds like you're recommending something to me, and I don't listen to good advice, so no thank you. And it was a Saturday morning. I remember I finally put on Sing Street, hit pause like 5 minutes in, started a group text with you, Jeff, and Feidelberg, and was like, boys, Sing Street. I'm 5 minutes in. I love it. And everybody started watching, and we all texted about Sing Street that day.
I was. That's weird because I don't remember like the actual like text or whatever. But as soon as you started saying it, I was like, huh, that's weird because I feel like I watched it on a Saturday morning and I was like kind of hungover and just like watched it.
Honestly, I think it was. I said like, hey, drop what you're doing, watch Sing Street right now. I think it helps that was Feidelberg in New York at that time. I think he was by then, but like Feidelberg is like big hotshot, lives in another place, and that's not like to be like, oh, like too cool for us or anything, but like he's got so much shit going on. I think it helped that he immediately responded and was like on it. And then I think if nobody had
Like, what am I
responded
gonna do? I've got better things to do.
If nobody had responded for a few minutes, it'd be very easy to be like, cool, out right now, I'll do it in a little bit. But there was like a very quick,
Like
like,
an
okay, let's all
urgency
do
to it,
this.
yeah.
And I just love doing a Saturday morning movie. So fired up Netflix, saw this thing called Love Hard was showing.
Yeah, and I did not even cross my mind that it was a play on Die Hard and Love Actually, the name.
Guess what?
You just didn't think about it till now?
Thank you. You just hit me with that fun fact.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I was just like, stupid movie name, but like, kind of a stupid movie.
Yeah, it's about a I guess it's not whatever. It's one person in the movie, their favorite Christmas movie is Die Hard. Oh, very cool.
But wait a second.
Yeah. The other
It's
person's
a classic Coke. It's like legitimately the Coke and
Yeah.
Pepsi bit.
and then the other person's favorite Christmas movie is Love Actually. So they put the two names together.
Huh?
Yeah. So our guy Jimmy O Yang is in it.
Yes, that's what made me watch it. I
Yeah.
was like, Christmas movie, Netflix movie. I mean, to see the Netflix logo stamped on something doesn't necessarily sway me one way or another. But if it is a Christmas movie, so if the
Yeah.
N is on it, it means that this is a Netflix produced movie. If that is on a holiday movie,
Absolutely in.
I have no choice.
Well, and it's great because
like we're
the-
gonna talk about this.
right, and there's no expectations. Like
Yeah.
like we expect the Netflix holiday movies to be pretty bad,
Yeah.
and they're still like a lot of fun.
What's your favorite Netflix holiday movie we've done?
Either Let It Snow, is that what it's called?
I couldn't think of the name. I was like, the Awful House one. That's my answer.
The Let It Snow one, and then I also kind of liked the one with what was
the
it?
Crybaby guy.
The Crybaby guy.
Yeah, it's like, but I want to do this, and it's like, oh,
The Australian guy?
I guess she's gonna choose a different guy than
What's
you.
the one with the Australian guy?
There's the one with the director guy and he's the guy that's a baby about everything. He's like, we're in town for my play, and I am going to put on the best play that there ever was. And she's like deciding whether or not she's in love with him. I'm like, you're not in love with him. we don't like this.
No, I don't think it's that one. The one where the girl they're like it's so stupid. They're like pretending they're holiday dates. That's it. They only date for holidays. They're each other's like holiday date. The holiday.
I don't remember this.
Where
Let's see.
they only get together to spend holidays together so that they don't have to be single on the holidays.
Oh, I do remember. Okay,
That
so
one was like dumb and stupid, but I kind of liked it, and I also really liked.
Isn't one of them plays like a famous person? Is that no? What's the one where they have somebody plays a famous celebrity, and they're having a Christmas thing, and all these people come over. And shit, what a terrible description I just gave.
Are you thinking about the one with Kristen Stewart?
One of them is the guy from Dave. One of them is the manager.
Oh, the redhead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember. Fuck. The Kristen Stewart
I
one
love that
last
we've
year was
watched
very good.
Too many.
I know.
We've watched too many Netflix Christmas movies to count. Okay, so we're gonna find this out. Andrew Santino is the man in this movie, and that's not cool.
What?
The first people ask on Andrew Santino is, what happened to Andrew Santino?
What?
Get the hell out of here.
He's like peaking right
yes,
now.
He's got a burgeoning career.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
He's got a very popular podcast too,
My
and he's
goodness.
like a kind of like banging stand-up comedian. I think.
That is so...
Happiest Season is the one that I was thinking. That's the Kristen Stewart one. So I would say Let It Snow, The
Season.
Holiday, and Happiest Season.
Happiest Season. Oh, no, that's the one where... Okay, so you gave the different one. So that's not Holiday. Happiest Season...
No. The Holiday is a different movie.
Okay,
I'm saying
Happiest
these are my
Season
three.
Is the one where the couple has... Is it... Mackenzie Davis's family is conservative, or there's like a politician or something.
Yeah, so
And
they don't know she's a lesbian.
Yes, and
yeah,
she
right.
doesn't want to come out to her parents, but she wants to spend the holidays with her girlfriend.
So they like pretend that they're friends.
I remember liking that movie.
That was a good movie.
Loaded cast.
I think that was like a Hulu or something, or like a
It was indeed a Hulu one. Yeah, loaded cast though.
yeah.
Aubrey Plaza, Mary Holland.
Allison Brie.
Dan Levy.
Yeah. So that one, like, I had some expectations because the
Eugene's
cast
kid.
was so good.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll exclude that one because that's like not technically a shitty Netflix Christmas movie.
And was not a Netflix
exclusive.
movie.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, my favorite's Let It Snow. I think
It's
that's
so stupid.
It's like a light, heartwarming type of thing, and it just like taps into like, oh yeah, like if you think you're neurotic now, you're just a mess of emotions and anxiety when you're a kid. So that's a good one. But maybe it was just because I was so happy to be watching a Netflix Christmas movie, but I had a great time with Love.
Yeah, it was incredibly stupid, and like there was a lot of things that made me roll my eyes.
Yeah.
But I watched it on a Saturday night or something. I like took half an edible, and I was enjoying myself.
Sean Evans style.
Yeah, exactly. And
Don't halves that up.
yeah, right. And it was a fine experience, and I'm happy that my guy Jimmy O Yang is getting some shine, like the leading man.
Yes, just killing it in these movies, out here, doing movies, doing big things. Crazy Rich Asians, Fantasy Island,
and Nina Dobrev on the other side. Like, damn,
that's a great couple right there.
Hell yeah.
Man, I gotta say, I shot him an email and was like, hey, tomato fights, whatever you want to, haven't talked in 1,000 years, probably don't even remember me. I don't think he's on Twitter anymore.
Okay. If
he were still on Twitter, he'd be able to probably remember us better because we're on there. But if he came on, we'll see if he does, TBD, I'd be like, man, that scene where, so it's about a guy who catfishes somebody on a dating app, and he says that when his picture was himself on the dating app, it only got 3 likes in a year. Now, I don't know anything about dating apps, have never used one, but I was like, there's going to be some twist. His picture must absolutely suck because bullshit, Jimmy O Yang with a good-looking guy, and I bet he would crush a dating app.
Yeah, like a bio? Yeah, incredible.
He would put something incredible on the bio. So, like, not to, like, gas him up too much, but the most, oh, yeah, right moment of the movie is there's no way Jimmy O Yang is going a year with only 3 matches on a dating app.
Yeah. I kind of ruined my experience with this movie, too, because, like, he catfishes this Nina Dobrev's character, and like, so for the first however many minutes of the movie, you think that he's somebody else, and they talk on the phone and stuff, and the voice was driving me crazy. So I didn't know Jimmy O Yang was in this movie, and the voice was driving me crazy. I was like, I know whose voice this is. It's driving me insane. So I looked up the cast to see, like, whose voice is this? And I saw Jimmy O Yang, and I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
So, like, it would have been so much cooler and so much more of, like, a holy shit kind of moment if when they should, because, like, they do build up him finally showing up.
Young, deeper Chris Rock voice that's not, who is this? I didn't have that experience because I saw on the Netflix thing there was a picture of the cast, so I knew that. Yeah, and then when you know that he's in it, and then you hear the voice, you're like, okay, he's
right.
Getting,
but like, I think would have hit so much better, like when they do the big reveal.
Yeah, there is the threat the whole time. They do say the whole time, they're like, oh, you're getting catfish. This guy's too good to be true. So you are supposed to be suspecting it. So when you said that you didn't know he was in it, and then you looked it up, I was like, oh fuck, I didn't even consider that. But to watch that without knowing that he's in it, that would be so rewarding to be like, damn, Jimmy O Yang. He kills it, though. Yeah,
he was actually really good. The movie itself, it's fine.
I mean, Christmas movies are silly and stupid.
Right. And this is I don't know, there's a special place in my heart for just, like, turning your brain off and watching a dumb Christmas movie.
Yeah, and you know how it's going to end. They're going to end up together. But they do a lot of, like, hey, let's get a little deep here. Not too deep, but let's get a little deep.
Yeah, like, there's a back and forth of, like, good messages and then, like, just shit that'll make you roll your eyes and be like, this is so fucking stupid.
Oh yeah, I could see Twitter and people who get too worked up about like little things in pop culture that don't matter be like having a lot of problems with this movie, because they basically say, yeah, well, catfishing's bad, but I mean, really, if you're pretending to be somebody else to try to impress another person, aren't you just catfishing them? And it's like, oh,
It's not really how it works.
no, that's just having low self-esteem.
Yeah.
And, like, one is like you're really
And also-
actively
And
like,
also, like, that's fucking dating.
right.
Yeah, like the first couple months of dating,
Like,
you're
no,
just
like,
pretending to be the best
being
version
on
of
your
yourself.
best behavior,
Yeah.
and trying to be like, oh shoot, what makes sense for this person? Again, yeah, that's just not having self-esteem.
Yeah.
But it was good. I got some laughs out of it. There's a ridiculous karaoke scene.
Oh man,
The most
there
ridiculous
sure is.
karaoke scene that has ever existed.
There's also a fucking bobsledding scene out of nowhere.
Yeah, really, really weird. There's a indoor rock climbing scene, and I'd like to do that at some point. Never done that.
I've
Have
done
you?
it. Yeah,
Is it good?
it's scary, man. It's like it's a lot harder than it looks.
I think of it as being like skateboarding. We've talked about doing a little skateboarding back in the day. Whenever you go to a skate park and then you have to like drop in, you're like, absolutely not.
Yeah, right.
This is so high. This
Yeah.
is way too high, and I'm just gonna like
Land on my
fall off
face
of
and
this
break
thing?
all of my teeth.
I'm gonna purposely fall off of this. Get
So
out of here.
But like the difference there for rock climbing, at least indoor rock climbing, is that like there's a suspension system, and if you fall, like
Yeah.
you don't get hurt.
Right.
So
But so then how's it scary? Just like the
I'm afraid of heights,
Yeah.
and like there's also just there's like the helplessness of like being up there, and like just like I guess the like the feeling or the sensation of falling.
Oh yeah.
When, like even if you know that there's somebody going to be there to catch you, or like the system is going to help you,
Yeah.
just like the initial shock of like falling or letting go or like having to hold on is scary.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we have entered Netflix Christmas movie season. When I tweeted that I saw this, I'm so glad that people replied and were like, already saw it. Let's go. Like, so glad.
Oh
that
hell yeah.
This is like.
I
maybe
assumed
it's
that
'cause
everybody would
Netflix was pushing it as like its front page thing, but I like that people are already.
Yeah,
like,
my
yes,
mom
we've jumped into
my mom
Christmas
watched
movie
it
season.
and she said it was stupid, but she liked it.
That's all we want out of
Yeah.
these things. And really, I can't. I mean, the Christmas Chronicle movies are exhausting, but so sometimes I don't want to watch those because I'm like, oh man, I really gotta. It's gonna take me so long to write to write all these notes while watching this movie, but to be able to do like I didn't write down any notes on
No,
this
me neither,
movie. I
no.
didn't just like
I watched it to watch it.
what stood out to you. He makes candles and he's got like a touch of toxic masculinity, but also like it's very much the toxic masculinity of a young man who lacks confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to like excuse toxic masculinity or whatever, but like I just know from having been a boy growing up, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a real thing where like he's like very much concerned with, oh no, am I man enough? His passion is making candles, and he's
in
like,
the
I'm gonna be able to do it in a way where like guys respect me, and I'm like,
Yeah.
well, don't worry about that, but
Right.
like just make the candles.
And in like in the context, like his family dynamic sort of like
yeah,
feeds that toxic masculinity.
yeah, wants dad's approval, doesn't want to let him down.
His
Doesn't,
brother is just like
Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, right.
yeah.
So.
Good movie. Oh, great scene with Baby It's Cold Outside. So you want to talk about
Yes.
jokes that had been run into the ground? Of course, every year people pointing out that Baby It's Cold Outside is a problematic song is the Have You Tried a Charleston Chew Frozen? It's the I Don't Like Candy Corn, where you just like, oh God, here we go.
You come up with
Oh,
this
yeah.
one by yourself?
Yeah, how'd you arrive at this one? And it stinks with that argument because when you're like, oh my God, shut up, it can be mistaken for you
Right.
saying
yeah,
like, I don't care that it's
right.
problematic. Like,
No. It's like,
obviously
no, we've
that's
just
a very
fucking
creepy
heard it a
song.
million times before.
Yeah, we know that is how people like talked back then, and like, yeah, it's really creepy. And yes, we all know that.
But you're not making a profound observation.
This puts a very fresh coat of paint on it. They discuss what a weird song it is, and then later they start singing it, and Jimmy O Yang changes it to his perspective is he legitimately doesn't want the girl to be there, and he is telling her to go home. So every time she does like, well, what's in
really
this drink?
can't
He's
stay.
like, I can give you a to-go cup. Like,
Right.
you can't stay. Go home.
That was quite funny, yeah.
I was like, I think I was LOLing when I was watching it because it was just it was a very smart take on something that's been done a million times, and especially when you've already been through they do like the Die Hard banter.
But that was what I was gonna say. Like, it's fucking rich that this movie like does the Die Hard thing and then doesn't add to the conversation or anything, and like doesn't provide any new spin on it, and then does that with Baby It's Cold Outside.
Honestly, I wonder if like a writer on that movie or somebody. Well, I guess it's not.
It seemed like
there's
this
not
movie.
a writing room when you're making a movie, but like somebody had that almost as a bit, and they were like, "How can we put this into a movie?"
Well, it really it seemed like they had a checklist of all the cliche discussions. Christmas discussions that they could hit, and they did all of them. Like, they did Love Actually, they did Die Hard, they did Baby It's Cold Outside.
Yeah.
And it's just like the only one that they added and like provided value for was Baby It's Cold Outside.
Yeah, that was a good scene though, man.
It was.
That's the leader in the clubhouse for best musical Christmas thing of the 2021 season. But who knows? It's young. We don't know what Netflix has in store for us. We'll probably see Home Alone for next week. We should probably have some stuff with Houndmouth. Those boys are in town this week. We're going to be hanging with them. And Tomato Fights is Friday, so please get on the Patreon, patreon.com/listen to brunch. We'll have that for you. And in a couple of weeks now, actually, it's next week. Next week, the Peter Jackson Beatles documentary series drops.
Ooh.
And fan or not, I don't want to say like you're not like a fan, like you just haven't really jumped into the Beatles yet. I think that whether or not you decide to start listening to the Beatles in preparation, I think you should definitely watch that.
Yeah, from what I've seen, it looks very interesting, and I think that I'm gonna watch it.
Good. So that's the content. Get it. We appreciate you. Talk soon.